Hey guys, it's One. Square Enix surprised us all when they released the final Kingdom Hearts 2.8 trailer of 2016 out of the blue on a random Thursday. They had this trailer set for the lineup for Jump Festa, so you'd think they'd wait until then, but nope, they just said whatever and uploaded. First KH3 screenshots, now this, like what are you doing? Well, anyways, I've combed through the entire trailer and at first I was like, there's not too much new stuff in here. And then after getting into it, I realized I was kind of wrong. As you can see, this video is kind of big. Well, let's waste no time. Welcome to my trailer analysis of the new Kingdom Hearts 2.8 trailer. I'm gonna go through and show you any hidden details, story possibilities, whatever else I can find. Let's get started. The trailer opens up with footage of the 0.2 intro and a small showcase of Dream Drop Distance HD. We're just gonna skip over this, of course, until we get to back cover, Daybreak Town looking nice. Next scene that flashes is yet another look at the Master talking to the Foretellers. Honestly, we've seen this view so many times now, I mean, what would a trailer be without it? But the next thing we get to see is something a bit more fresh. We see Ava and Gula looking at Akirathi presumably being born. We can still barely see the black coat on the left side here and the other Foretellers in the back, so it's safe to say that this is probably still the same scene. The next shot of Ira is a 50-50 though. Could be the same scene with all the Foretellers in the next room, or this could be one of the scenes where Ira's looking over his book, either in the E3 trailer or even later in this trailer. He appears to be talking to someone, and it makes sense if that person is Envy, as we have seen him having a conversation with her in past trailers. Next we see Ava and Akirathi. I really like the detail they put on Akirathi, the stitchy look in his eyes. We can also catch our boy Gula in the back there too. This is likely to be the same scene from the E3 2016 trailer where Gula runs into Ava and Akirathi. Time of day is exactly the same too. Here we get a new shot of Daybreak Town. Notice the bridge actually collapsed. I would guess that this is some collateral damage from the various skirmishes that look like they will be happening over the course of the story. Afterwards we get a new shot of a hooded figure holding Master Xehanort's Keyblade. Again, I think it's Luxu because we've never seen the Master hold this Keyblade yet, so there's no reason to believe that this is the Master right now. If we later find out that this Keyblade was the Master's and he's passing it to Luxu in that TGS trailer, which is very possible, then I'll start considering these ambiguous scenes to be either the Master or Luxu. But for now, with what we know, I'll just tie this Keyblade to Luxu. We get a scene of Ava sitting on the waterfall. This looks like the scene in Kingdom Hearts Key where she first meets Ephemer, however you say his name because we don't know yet, when she first meets him at the water fountain. After he leaves, she says, "Ride the wind and fly somewhere far away, Dandelion." And this scene looks just like that, complete with her looking up and everything. Now let's take a look at the rush of 0.2 scenes. Starts with this image of Destiny Islands. For some reason, this image here looks a little too good. Like, I could see this being a CG scene. Now, of course, environments have always looked fantastic in Unreal Engine 4, but this looks a little too good. You know what I mean? Maybe the last area you visit is Destiny Islands, and the game ends around there, so they have a CG quality ending sequence for you to watch. I don't know, it's possible. If this is not CGI and it's all in-engine, wow, that's just amazing that they could manage to blur the line between CG and in-game that much to get me to question it. Mad props and friendship if this is just part of the game and not pre-rendered. Wow. After that is an old scene of Mickey catching Aqua's Wayfinder. This was already in the last trailer, so next, we see the beginning sequence of Aqua about to fight her reflection while inside the mirror. This is likely just how the camera zooms out right before it goes to the actual gameplay. After this, we revisit that final area in the last trailer, the one I believe to be an enchanted Dominion-like area because of the thorns around and the castle we can see in some shots. And look, the Dark Side and Spirit Bomb, still there. Okay, now stop. This is really strange. We see the Keyblade Graveyard quite clearly, but this is under Kingdom Hearts 0.2. I had no idea this world would appear in 0.2, and there's no way this can be a mistake. The 0.2 logo is right on it. We're gonna see something happen in this area sometime during 0.2? Looks like it. Man, I never would have guessed. More on this later. Here's a nice little snippet of Kairi and Yensid's tower after the Dream Drop Distance secret ending. Nothing really to say about that. Next, we're back to Aqua in front of the mirror. Let's compare it to the last trailer. In the TGS trailer, the world behind her is all messed up and broken, and Aqua has no reflection. In the new trailer, she touches the mirror and sees her reflection again, and the structures behind her seem to be restored. If I had to guess, this is her before she fights the boss and goes into the mirror, and this is her coming out and restoring balance, kinda like what she did when she turned back the clock to fix the bridge in Castle of Dreams. It could also be reversed, but I think the way Aqua touches her reflection makes it seem like she's surprised to see it there this time, so I'll guess that the reflection and fixed world is after and not before. Our final shot of this little montage, we see Terra and Ventus walking towards the forest in what seems to be a dwarf woodlands area. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the screenshot released in scans earlier so that we don't have to see the logo in the way. Notice Ventus's clothing, it has a checkerboard pattern when his original design is actually all black on one side, all white on the other. What is the purpose of this change? Looks like the illusions of Terra and Ventus will continue leading Aqua around the realm of darkness. That's something I'll be getting onto more later. After all this, we finally get into the trailer and find us in our surprisingly one and only gameplay segment. Aqua demonstrates that her Keyblade can break the thorns that are blocking areas, but in Unchained Zero during Kingdom Hearts Key, your Kirthi says it's blocked and you can't pass, don't ask me why. For some reason, some of them glow red while others are just a single color. We also get our first look at the minimap, a welcome returning feature from past Kingdom Hearts games. Because of the minimap, we can see that she's going towards a dead end, so I was thinking maybe there's a treasure or something back there, as that's how those areas usually end up, but there's some blue glowing portal or something? Weird. Besides that, her face on the HUD has been updated and now her neutral look has a slightly angrier face than before, and her battle face is just super angry now. If we look at the Japanese version of this trailer, they show her cutting thorns, but it's in a completely different area of the map. And it drops MP orbs as it goes away. Sweet. Also, spoiler alert, she's already customized to be blue before we got to customization. But forget I said that. If you look to Aqua's command menu, we see these arrows above it. They build up as Aqua combos. But I do want to note that the one furthest to the right is always highlighted, almost as if it's being hovered over like a cursor selection. Remember, while playing the 0.2 demo at New York Comic Con, I found out that you can press up on the D-pad from an attack to get to situation commands and manually select them with X instead of triangle. So the arrow furthest to the right could be some sort of selectable command. But we also could look at it in a completely different way. In Birth by Sleep, whenever you attack anything in succession, you build up this meter above the command deck that can trigger a command style when full. These arrows could just be the 0.2 version of that meter, build up enough arrows, maybe 4, and you can activate a command style? There's no answer, but those are the two possibilities I see, either individually selectable arrows that trigger some sort of special attack, or a progress meter to tell you how close you are to getting the option to activate a command style. Okay, I never thought I'd see this in a million years, but here we get to see a wardrobe option where you customize Aqua's appearance. What? You can customize her head, arms, back, and the pattern and color of her clothes. If you look at the color option, they give you RGB sliders so you can get basically any color you want as long as you know how to set it up. And it even saves your color history. You can choose single color or gradation, so that's nice. This appears to be purely cosmetic, because if these wardrobe items did have some sort of effect on Aqua's stats, you would think that the description down there would say something about what it does to you instead of just select an item, right? You'll also notice that there are Marie and Figaro headpieces in the list, and it turns out to be cat ears. These both could be different color cat ears in reference to the characters, Marie from the Aristocats and Figaro from Pinocchio. And why am I talking cat ears in a Kingdom Hearts video? The English version shows these white arm guards exclusively, while the Japanese shows a red shoulder piece and red wings. So even though Square tries their best to sync up the English and Japanese gameplays perfectly, it seems they didn't end up with the same costume on the menu in this trailer. Alright, enough Barbie dress up. We can see what the basic menu of the game looks like, mostly familiar stuff. The player here is level 57 and has put 4 hours and 28 minutes into the game. I've always guessed that 0.2 would be between 1.5 to 3 hours long, so I don't know if this person is just putting in extra time to get pretty accessories or if the game could be longer than I think. We also see standard mode at the bottom, which is awesome because it just once again reinforces that possibility of higher difficulties. Here's hoping for a good crit mode and not just going up to proud. If we try to look behind the menu into the game, it looks like the area with the magic mirror. The menu does not label the world anything like Dwarf Woodlands, but instead just says Dark World, and the area is the world within. The English trailer also shows a second area called the Depths of Darkness, which looks like a more generic Realm of Darkness area. Next, we get to see more gameplay, but this time with custom Aqua. Another look at the Broken Magic Mirror area, and then we see this new area, and wow, the environment is gorgeous here. Blue crystals everywhere, Mickey's now in your party wielding the Star Seeker, and they're heading towards a bright light. If I had to guess, I'd guess they're heading towards maybe the Destiny Islands area? Also, treasure chest in the distance. Next, we get to see Aqua do this new slide through the Thorny area, just like she does on Blizzard spells. Dark sides are everywhere, and we see her use double flight to avoid their iconic punch attacks, and this sequence ends with what looks to be a scripted scene. And now we get to see actual dark side battles in this Enchanted Dominion area. Maleficent's castle in the back is clearer than ever now. You'll notice the arrows above the command menu are back, and they even build up when she casts magic. The dark side is using that well-known belly blaster attack we've seen since Kingdom Hearts 1. In the next sequence, the giant mass of energy in the sky that we saw in the previous trailer shoots lasers down onto Aqua. During this, the arrows disappear as she's not attacking, just like the Birth by Sleep command bar would deplete after you are inactive for a while. But this went away all at once, unlike the gradual way the Birth by Sleep meter goes down. In the Japanese trailer, you can actually see the background dark side sending energy up to the ball in the sky, and they all have their hands up while the lasers are being fired. Next is a fight against an upgraded Devil's Wave with Mickey on Destiny Islands. It is way stronger than the one from the E3 trailer, just like Nomura implied in the past. I mean, Mickey is already dead. The shadows this time have this core that looks suspiciously similar to the energy the dark sides put together. That core is the spot you attack to do damage to the wave. And of course, the mysterious arrows build up again as Aqua combos. As we keep going, we see Aqua and Mickey do this team sequence, and she appears to be in a new command style called Wayfinder. One that can only be used with Mickey in your party, maybe, as the gloves in the menu tied to Aqua's Wayfinder seem to imply. Although that looks to be a command style, this attack they do together honestly looks very scripted. Like, this animation was made for this specific boss, almost like a reaction command would be. The way the chains trap the Heartless and break open just seem a little too perfect. I also find it strange how the command style is gone right after the team attack. That's gotta mean this is the finale of the command style, but it looks so scripted for this specific boss. I don't know, maybe it's not scripted and it just looks excellent on this enemy, but dang man. By the way, the chains are likely a special property of the Master Keeper Keyblade that Aqua's wielding. We see similar looking chains used in the armor of the Master boss battle from Birth by Sleep. Also, it's weird how the light of the sky in this scene is blue and more natural, while in the previous battle scene it was a red sky and looked like the world was ending. Oh, good, dream drop distance scenes. I can go for a tea break. God, I need it.
What's written in the last page of the book is gonna happen.
Okay, Master of Masters saying what's written on the last page of the book, clearly the Book of Prophecies, is gonna happen. I love how he says it in such a nonchalant tone, and later he's all... who is this man? But we'll get to that later. We've known about the last page for a while, not to be confused with the lost page. The last page says, "The fated land will be the battleground for a great war. Light will see defeat and expire, while darkness prevails forevermore." Well, that's according to the KH Wiki, but I have a hunch that the true translation is, "On that land shall darkness prevail and light expire." Sound familiar? Good. And yeah, certainly makes a certain someone in the future suspicious indeed. The next scenes all seem to be the Foreteller's opinions on the last page's text, save for Gula and Envy.
We are here to make sure that light lives on.
If we don't do something, light will expire.
But Master, isn't there anything we can do?
Notice how Ased seems to have gotten himself into a fight with not only Gula or Envy, but both of them at once, and Ava. How crazy is this man? Regardless of all these fights he's getting into, I personally still believe his intentions are pure. He just isn't very smart about how he goes about things. Ava thinks about a time when she asked the Master about being able to prevent the text on the last page. Notice how she sits in front of and looks at the dandelion on the ground. Clever, Square. Clever. You deserve a golf clap for that one.
Terra, Ven.
Aqua, can you see me?
Of course. I see Ven too.
This next scene is very important. Aqua runs into Terra and Ventus again. Like it's nothing special at this point, is it? But wait, this seems different. All this time we merely dismissed the Terra and Ventus appearances as illusions in the realm of darkness, but hold on. Terra asks Aqua if she can see him. That alone makes this seem like Terra is somehow real. And Ventus, he's just straight up asleep, just as the real Ventus would be, because, well, what can he do but sleep? Also, notice his clothes, they look to be normal Ventus clothes instead of the checkered look we saw earlier. Maybe they are still illusions, but with Terra asking if she can see him, my mind's going in another direction. But it doesn't stop there. I did some digging and I think I found the answer to prove it. Or, well, get as close as you possibly can to proving something while still speculating. So stay with me, okay? A few months ago, the Kingdom Hearts First Breath concert tour began. At the concert, both Terra and Namine's voice actors were invited to recite some lines on stage. Nomura surprised everyone when he had them do a brand new scene on stage. Nomura said the scene will not be shown in 0.2, but it happens a little while before 0.2 and it's canon. So Namine, while following Sora's heart, I assume to be piecing together his memories or something, comes across the Lingering Will. She shows him a world of his memories and he begins to communicate with Namine through her power. Namine introduces herself and then says, "Soon you'll be touched by a familiar light. Please guide her so that she isn't confused by the darkness." Terra replies with, "She. Aqua. But I can't do anything the way I am now." To which Namine follows up with something that can basically be summed up as,
We have to at least try.
so a familiar light is going to touch Terra's Lingering Will, and Namine is requesting that he uses it to guide Aqua through the darkness. So all these illusions of Terra appearing, it may be truly the real Terra's energy attempting to guide Aqua. Nomura in an old interview said Aqua will not be saved in 0.2, but she may find an answer on how to save the Birth by Sleep trio. Maybe Terra's light is what will guide Aqua to find that answer. Terra is appearing as illusions throughout the game in order to guide Aqua through the darkness. So Terra follows the light Namine told him about, finds Aqua, asks if she can see him, because he is most likely in disbelief that this is even real. Does that sound too far-fetched to you? Well, we have to remember we have seen something quite similar to this in the past, but kind of in the reverse situation. Mickey sent his light over to Riku in Castle Oblivion while he was still in the Realm of Darkness, and this thing going on with Terra feels very similar to that in my opinion. I don't know about you, but I think I found something here. I really do. Or maybe they're all just illusions and Nomura is messing with us, who knows. As for Ventus appearing here, there's no clear answer. But maybe, just maybe, if Namine was able to communicate with the Lingering Will to get Terra here, she could have communicated with Ven even though he's sleeping? That one's up in the air, but the Terra one feels very solid. No pun intended. So a little bit of a side note, Terra's voice sounds different.
Aqua, can you see me?
It just has that deeper feel to it and feels unfamiliar to me. There's no way they replaced Jason, right? Maybe they just had the voice director tell Jason to do something a little bit differently? I don't know. In the E3 trailer, Terra sounds 100% like he did in Birth by Sleep, not unfamiliar at all.
Aqua.
But him here doesn't really seem that way.
Aqua.
I'm interested to know if Terra's voice was replaced, or if Jason is just doing something to sound different. Afterwards, we find Mickey and Aqua on Destiny Islands. Aqua recalls meeting Sora and Riku here. If you look closely at the edges, it looks torn. The tears look exactly like they did in Kingdom Hearts 1 when Sora was there at the end of the world. So it's definitely to be believed that this visit to Destiny Islands is after the world has fallen to darkness. Perhaps even after Sora was there if the transition from the island to the Endless Abyss caused the island to start existing in the Realm of Darkness instead of End of the World. If that beautiful island shot earlier was a CGI ending, then it would mean Aqua visiting Destiny Islands here is one of the final things she does in 0.2. So for this Dream Drop Distance scene, if you're really keen, you would have noticed that Square Enix Japan re-uploaded the trailer sometime after uploading the first one. That's because in the first version of the Japanese trailer only, you can see a mouse cursor at the top of the screen. When they re-uploaded it, they removed that. Other than that, this is just Dream Drop Distance.
There are so many hearts that are connected to yours. Sora, see? That's why it has to be you. Everyone wants to know about the lost page.
Now we get our final back cover scenes. Gula says everyone wants to know about the lost page. It's funny because by the end of Kingdom Hearts Key, Gula himself already knows what's on the lost page because he tells the text to the player. So when he's saying this, I don't know if he's implying he knows what's on it but everyone else can't remember, or if he doesn't himself know yet. But he could just be talking about the lost page as in, where is it, not necessarily what's on it. In another glimpse of the Aced vs Envy fight scene, Envy says everyone's collecting light solely for themselves. This is a very basic idea of Kingdom Hearts Key in general. All the unions have the same goal of collecting Lux, but because they are separated, collecting Lux turns into a sort of competition between the factions, which leads to distrust and eventually could create darkness in the hearts of those too hungry for Lux. Also, when the Keyblades clash, you see the cool effect of water pouring down. The Master of Masters says,
"May your heart be your guiding key." I say it all the time. You ultimately need to do what your heart feels is right.
Dude, like, what? This guy seems to have the shadiest intentions ever, and then goes around preaching about your heart being the guiding key. Like, who is this man and what is he going for? While he's saying this, a lot of back cover scenes flash by. One is him patting Envy's head, looks similar to a scene we've seen before with those two. Next is him playing with what looks to be a newly born Kirathi. Remember, the Master of Masters is the one who creates all Kirathi, so this is not out of the ordinary at all. Afterward is the crime scene itself of the lost page being torn from the book. I question whether it is the Master or Luxu that's doing the tearing here. Ava picks Gula up off the ground. If you look at his clothing, he seems roughed up and dirty. And then a similar scene of Ira talking to Aced in the rain. The lighting looks similar to how it was in the fight scene earlier, but we didn't see Ira there before. Did he come late, or is this a different scene entirely? And now the very famous box scene. So I see this hooded man, he's walking, and he has a box. And the first thing I think is like,
Where the video games?
no, but really there's no doubt that one of the most mysterious things to come out of this trailer is this box. The hooded figure carrying this has Master Xehanort's Keyblade, so for now we will assume it's Luxu dragging the box. Also, it seems likely that this box is part of whatever Luxu's cryptic mission is. In the last trailer, when the Master seems like he's sending Luxu off to do this mission, Luxu has that Keyblade out and the box is right next to him. We just never knew the box was of any importance until this trailer. So, Keyblade, check, box, check, mission, all we know about Luxu's mission is he's gonna watch this world end and then move forward to the future. And now we know he brings this box with him. He appears to be in the Keyblade Graveyard battleground-like area where the war goes down. There's daylight outside, and from what we can tell, the world doesn't seem to be broken up yet. So maybe this is before the battle happens? Okay, well, examining the box closely, the symbol on the front has 13 spikes. Funny, Nomura. The text is hard to make out, but it looks like it says Key Super. Now we know what the key or X means by now, but Super? If we go with the 7 Deadly Sins theme that all the Foreteller characters of Key have been named after, they all have the Latin names of the sins. The sin that's missing would be pride, or in Latin, superbia. Ah, super. And who is the 7th character here which doesn't yet have a name? The Master of Masters. So the Master of Masters' real name could end up being something like Super, or Superbia, but I do believe he is the pride of our group here. And it also looks like the Master gave Luxu this box in the previous trailer, so if this box belongs to the Master, it makes sense that it would have the Master's name on it, right? Now, I can't really make out what could be in the box, or what is supposed to be in the box, unless it's like the Master himself in the box, as if he was like, unfortunately, you'll have to go alone from here on out, because I'm gonna kill myself and stuff my body into this box. No, that's so not Kingdom Hearts. But for real though, I got to talk to SkywardWing and HMK after I finally got around to watching the trailer, and they told me what they thought. They even made their own video on it, so I'll leave a link in the description, shout out to them. But I'm gonna reiterate and then build on their theory just a tiny bit, because I honestly think the ideas they presented me with are very plausible. So we know about the 13 spikes. If we look at the locks on the side, we can see that the long side of the box should have 7 locks and the short side of the box has 3. If we assume the locks are on all 4 sides of the box, it would be 7 plus 7 plus 3 plus 3, which is 20. What also adds up to 20? 13 darknesses and 7 lights. They theorized that the shattered pieces of the original Keyblade could be what is being stored in this box. Now, I'm gonna build on it by saying that over the course of Kingdom Hearts Key, I always had this feeling about the Master. It feels like he's just playing Puppet Master. He made unions out of his students, purposely put them against each other, so they could build animosity and distrust towards each other with their factions. This discontent could lead to one big clash between all the factions in a war, which, spoiler alert, it does, and a clash of equal light and darkness, assuming there are faction members participating who have fair darkness in their heart, could create the Keyblade. This entire faction and collecting Lux business could all just be one big scam in order to get the Master of Masters an easy ticket to creating a Keyblade. Once his precious Keyblade is forged and maybe breaks apart after, he has Luxu live on past the war to pick up the scraps and deliver it to him or something? Maybe. Just maybe, I don't know. Crazy the things a simple box could make you think about the Kingdom Hearts series, isn't it? And with heavy contrast to the massive detail in that box scene, the next scene just shows a hooded figure, judging by his body language I'd guess it's the Master, standing in the Daybreak Town clock tower. Nothing more to say than that. But remember, the Master says, "May your heart be your guiding key." It's just a phrase that he likes to say all the time.
May our hearts be our guiding key.
There's a phrase no one's used in ages.
It's something I like to try and remember.
Now, when we go back to 0.2, Mickey says the exact same line, and Aqua says no one has said that in ages, which implies that this is just a very old, possibly even famous phrase. With this, we know the Master's teachings had so much influence that they still reach present day. The environment around them looks to be just the generic realm of darkness though, so nothing special here. Now, oh boy, we got a flash of very fast 0.2 scenes while they were saying that, so let's plow through them. And starting right with a big one, we see Terra being manhandled by Terra Xehanort. And Terra has this light around him, like he's fading away. This makes sense if we remember that Namine theory about him just being sent there as a guiding light. In that conversation with Terra and Namine that I had talked about before, Namine upon meeting him also says, "Right now you're bound by two sets of memories. One is your own memories, and the other is that of a very dark power." We all know that that dark power is Xehanort. So this Terranort here could be the physical manifestation of a dark power within him. Terra is able to send his light over to guide Aqua, so it makes sense that the very powerful dark force within him will try to follow. After that, we see Ven getting gripped up by a very dark hand. When I first saw this, I thought it was a Darkseid that was grabbing Ven, since it's just the enemy we see all over the trailer, but you'll notice that Darkseids have very pointy fingers. These fingers here are more rounded and normal. And then I thought about it, and remembered that Terranort has the ability to summon Ansem's Guardian. So if this Ventus scene is happening around the same time as that Terra struggle scene we just saw, then the Guardian appearing behind Aqua and grabbing Ven while Terranort is present makes perfect sense. After that, we see Mickey coming into contact with the Kingdom Key D. Remember, Mickey in Birth by Sleep and just generally pre-Kingdom Hearts 1 always used the Star Seeker Keyblade. He somehow got the Kingdom Key D after exiting the Realm of Darkness, and we never really had that explained. It looks like this game will explain just that. And oh boy, what? Keyblade Graveyard? Hooded Man? Master Xehanort's Keyblade? When first looking at this scene, you would think it's something out of back cover and they made some sort of mistake of putting it here in the trailer, but it's not. Early on in the trailer, it was made very clear that the Keyblade Graveyard is a part of 0.2 and this lighting looks identical to that shot. There's also no way this could be that far in the past because the rock formations here were done by Xehanort while he fought Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. Anyways, it looks like Kingdom Hearts is in the sky. This scene looks like it was ripped straight out of BBS. But you know, at this time, Master Xehanort's Keyblade was being used by Xehanort and later Terranort in the final battles, so how could someone be holding it and looking in from the outside? Well, if we want to get really detailed, the second you defeat Terranort, his Keyblade is nowhere to be seen, anywhere in the cutscene. So who could this hooded man be, and how could this be during Birth by Sleep? I hate to say it, but it could be time travel. Either that, or this is not during Birth by Sleep, and is for some reason happening in the present day, and someone, aka Xehanort, is back at the Keyblade graveyard and already has a Kingdom Hearts formation going, planning for the Keyblade to be forged here with 7 lights and 13 darknesses. And yes, whether it is Birth by Sleep or present day, I believe either way the hooded man could be Xehanort. We've seen him wear a black coat before, so I mean it's not too far off. The next scene is Riku running in the Realm of Darkness. This is definitely in the area of Kingdom Hearts 1's ending. And after that, we see Mickey falling down and something caused him to lose his shirt. Wow, man, that's how he looked during the Kingdom Hearts 1 ending. So they're even explaining the Mickey outfit discrepancy? Wow, like, round of applause for Square on this one. Also, cute Mickey symbol on the bottom of his shoes. With that, the last quickly flash 0.2 scene we see is Mickey and Riku after Dream Drop Distance, carrying suitcases looking like they're ready to head off. We're basically in Kingdom Hearts 3 territory from here on out. This is probably them setting off to find previous Keyblade wielders, as that's what the synopsis of Kingdom Hearts 3 released from Square a few years ago says they would be doing during that game.
You were gone a long time. What were you doing? Secret. I'm back!
And here it is, the final scene of our wonderful trailer. We see our boy Sora, once again, returning to Yensid's tower. Goofy says that he's been gone a long time, and Sora said what he was doing was a secret. So where is Sora coming from? Well, if you remember Dream Drop Distance's ending, Sora says he has to go do something and he ends up in the Realm of Sleep in Traverse Town. This scene makes it seem like he only went back to visit Dream Eaters, but now we also know he did something more while he was here. Something he's keeping secret. I don't know what it could be. Did he get Yensid's permission to redo the Mark of Mastery in there or something? Who knows? This is also the first time we get to hear Sora's voice since 2014 with the 2.5 extra scenes.
Secret. I'm back!
I think everything he says is just great. It only sounded a little off when he yelled back, but everything before that was pretty much perfect to me. And to be honest, the back isn't even that bad to me either. I just thought it was a little off. I'm not really worried about Sora's voice being bad in Kingdom Hearts 3 or anything, and me being satisfied with how he sounds here just helps reinforce that. In terms of his model, I think it's beautiful. All of the models we've been seeing in this trailer for the most part look really on point. And Sora is looking fantastic too. If I were to nitpick, I'd say his cheeks look just a teensy tiny bit too chubby, but other than that, nothing really. No problems at all. And with that, we got everything. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. This took a lot of work as always, so leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you can do to show support. Thank you. As always, I've been Sir All-in-One, and I'll catch you guys later.